Okay, so back to the big point, the German army was intimately involved in the atrocities of World War II. It didn't have its hands clean. It wasn't just following orders, it made its own orders. It's deeply, deeply complicit in what happened. And the mass murders in the Soviet Union and the other areas of Eastern Europe, despite the claims of its officers that survived the war and in many cases went on trial. Okay, so to get to the document itself, I just want to point out a couple of things or some things. The second line in the one I'm reading, and this is what I had it handed out last week. Rickenau talks about the Jewish Bolshevik system, and the essential aim of the war is the complete destruction of their means of power. Okay, so one of the things that I've talked about a lot that for the Nazis, if you were communist, you were Jewish, and if you were Jewish, you were communist. Rickenau, what he does is he makes explicit what had been part of German propaganda, probably almost for 10 years, well, a little less than 10 years, by October of 1941. This very, very close tie between communism and Judaism. And I think it's just really hard for us to understand how Hitler was able to whip up hatred for both for the folks that were Jewish, this idea that there was a Jewish cabal. I'm not even sure if Google's going to let me post this video because I sound like a raging anti-Semite. But there was this world conspiracy that was aimed particularly at Germany, and that there was a system, the Jewish Bolshevik system, and this is what what's happening is the German army, the German soldiers are fighting a system. They're just not fighting an army. They're fighting an ideology, a system that is determined to destroy Germany. Now, the next line, line 3, is, I think, really interesting, and it's something that you might be confusing to students. So the complete destruction of their means of power and the elimination of the Asiatic influence from European culture. So you might wonder, what the heck is he talking about there? I understand the anti-Semitism, I understand the anti-Bolshevism, the anti-communism. What the heck is he talking about Asiatic influence? And really what he's doing, Rickenau was doing, he's hearkening back to Attila the Hun. He's hearkening back to the attacks from Asia, from the steppes of Europe, that dated back centuries before, of course, the 1940s, but were still part of the collective memory of the German people. So, and one of the things to think about, when he talks about the Asiatic influence, it's also kind of the Asiatic horde, this huge number of Huns that are coming in other groups, Genghis Khan, dating back to that are threatening to overwhelm Germany and other parts of Europe. So Rickenau is not only talking about what he argues is the danger of Judaism, the world danger of Judaism, the cabal, the world danger of Bolshevism. He's also tickling the memory of the German soldiers, although he doesn't say it explicitly, of folks like Genghis Khan and other groups, nomadic groups who had threatened Western Europe. Like I can't off the top of my head, when was Genghis Khan? 900 AD, 700 AD. But this idea of this conquering horde coming west from Asia. Then at the bottom of this paragraph, that the soldier in the Eastern Territories, the German soldier, is not merely a fighter according to the rules of the art of war, but is a bearer of ruthless national ideology and an avenger of bestialities which have been inflicted upon German and racially related nations. So again, you're not just fighting another soldier, you're fighting this evil empire, if I can use that words, the bearer of a ruthless national ideology and an avenger of bestialities which have been inflicted upon Germans and racially related nations. And of course, throughout World War II, even before World War II, everyone wants to be the victim, right? This is you want to claim victim status, and so you can take revenge on your enemies to motivate your soldiers. And this line, the avenger of bestialities, that the soul, it sounds like almost like a horrible, stupid Marvel or DC comic book or something, but of course it has real world and horrifying consequences. So German soldiers were told that they're avengers of the bestialities that have been committed or will be committed against the German soldiers, but also the German nation, and that it is their job to protect the German nation, and because of that, they're not just fighting the usual arts of war and the usual rules of war. So, in other words, the usual rules of war don't apply to German soldiers in the Soviet Union because of the ideological nature of the war, the fighting of two very, very different worldviews, and also that German soldiers are avengers against the bestialities that had been visited upon soldiers, like by the partisan groups, but that would be visited upon the German nation if the German army was defeated. So this is what German soldiers are being told. They're not just soldiers, they're avengers. They're avengers.